talking about what you can feel.
Rob Matters.
What you can smell.
Kit Jones, the engineer.
What you can taste and see. Then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
KaoticRadio.com. Hey, kid, what's going on there, buddy?
Just engineering, doing my thing, man. Back here, getting the show started.
Well,
Red Pill Radio on chaoticradio.com.
There you go. Well, today in the news, we got a meteor lands explodes or does something over Washington, and the military goes looking for it. We got latest UFO updates on where they're actually flying around and where people are seeing them. Antifa gets their ass kicked at a prayer visual in Washington, and Oxercise.com will be coming up first with the latest fitness tips for the newbies out there. So if you're really trying to lose weight I know we're in the summer right now. You know, just full steam summer, but there's never time.
Never a bad time.
Yeah, there's never a bad time to start working out. So that's so Daniel from Oxercise will be on the phone in just a few minutes with some tips on how just to get started in fitness, right? And I know he's got some stuff on, and he's going to be putting some stuff out on his website. But the guy is a master of just getting people started in the gym. And Kit, I'll tell you right now, before we get too far into the UFO stuff and Antifa stuff, is getting to the gym is the hardest part. Literally for everybody, even for me.
I got to tell you, man, I only went to the gym once this week. I was doing really good, I'm going, hopefully, or trying to go twice a week. But, it was like, obviously we had 4th of July in there this week. It's been kind of a weird week. But
yeah, it has been weird.
Yeah, huh? So Thursday I actually went. And, what I got to say, what's really, really effing annoying, like I go to Fitness 19, it's pretty good. They got some great equipment there. It's cheap, $19 a month. It doesn't kill me. And it's pretty local. But, it's like, I swear to God, I like to do the arm press, for bench presses. And I don't like to do the free weights. I don't mind doing it, but I'd rather do.
So you use like a Smith machine or a hammer. It's usually they use the hammer strength machine, right?
Right.
So you're seated in the bench press position.
Right. And so the thing is, and I'm going to talk to Ox about this, not this particular thing, but I do have an issue I want to cover with him. But this guy, I swear to God, I showed up, I did my elliptical for a half hour. I'm looking over there because I usually start with the arms, and he's on the arm machine doing his right. Then sits there, listens to music for 5 minutes, then does his left. Dude, literally the whole time I was there, I was waiting for this machine. This effing guy would not get off. I swear to God, I wanted to walk over and say, bro, mind if I get a set in while you listen, tune your flipping headphones? I mean, it was oh my God. I worked around it, but
there's a style training that is way better than that, because isolation right nowadays, unless you're a competitor, like a bodybuilding competitor, or you're going to even a beach body competitor, or whatever you're doing.
Oh, well, that's what I'm going for.
Right? Well, but you need to get in the gym and out of the gym. And there's a style of training called dog crap training. And that really is really a great way to train. I'm telling you, the name is dog crap, but the training is first class.
Nice.
And that is, you're combining a bunch of stuff together when you're doing your training, so you're not isolating. It's like when I'm doing bicep curls, I'm using a French curl bar, because a straight bar, well, I can't bend my wrist that straight.
Right.
Actually, that's not even that's not even comfortable for the human. Human. Yeah, it's because hold your wrist, hold your palms out in front of you like this. See this, Kit? Right? Kit's actually, guys, if you're listening to this show and if you're hearing my voice, you are. Yeah, Kit is in another room where engineering is, and they have a big window, and it's like bulletproof glass, so I can't throw shit at him through the window when he pisses me off. So, right. But your wrists don't do this naturally, and then you put 70 pounds, like right here, not conducive to the joints in your wrists.
Got it.
So French curl bar is when you have your hands at a slight angle, and it's much more natural to do your lift like this.
Interesting. Yeah, so I want to talk to Ox about my shoulder because, I had the neck issue and it seems to have moved into my shoulder, and like some days are good, but I mean, literally, like I need to build my chest. That's really where, like, my arms aren't bad. My stomach's not even bad. It's my chest that has kind of deteriorated, but I can't really do chest exercises because it all happens in my shoulder.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hit him up.
Well,
See what he has to say.
and the hammer strength machine is good for people with injuries, or just guys like me, like, because I have a lot of injuries, right? I mean, I've got arthritis and all kinds of stuff that comes with getting old, besides lifting for a lifetime, right? But yeah, Ox, I'm sure he'll have. Why don't you get him on the ringer real quick, and then we'll
right
let's
now.
Just, yeah,
I thought
let's
we were
just
gonna get him in on 4:30.
you
want
know,
to just keep him on the phone the whole show, right?
Yeah, just get him on the ringer because I'm interested on that too, because I have some injuries I need to work around, like a shoulder injury. Every time I'm doing lat pull downs, for some reason it's jacking up my my
Turn
tricep.
down the phone for a sec.
Got it. There we go. Get him on the phone, and then I'll turn him up when you got him. So let me explain to you about this injury I've got. Every time I'm doing a lat pull down, and that's taking that straight bar, and you're pulling it down. Now a lot of people will pull that lat pull down behind their neck, right behind their head, and that is like a military style pull down. But if you're doing it in front of your neck, it's more in front of your face. It's more conducive to
pull down the phones just a hair.
Yeah, there we go.
Just a hair.
There you go. Oh, I got to put out a disclaimer. The Vicodin video, it's because I'm passing a kidney stone. Hey, Dan, how you doing? This is Rob from ChaoticRadio.com. We got Kit in engineering, and we have some questions for you. So let's.
Yes, sir. How can I help?
Okay, so Kit, go ahead with your question because you were very curious.
Yeah, so I used to go to the gym quite a bit. I had decent build. I mean, obviously we've talked, and my muscle tone has dropped because I haven't really used my upper body that much, just because of having a neck issue. Now my neck seems to be fine, but it's kind of traveled into my left arm. So my shoulder is just, if I do like the chest workout or even bench press or even like push-ups, literally I irritate my shoulder. But I want to rebuild my chest and my arms. Everything else is fine. It doesn't really get affected. So what would you recommend for somebody with a shoulder issue besides surgery?
Well, before you start,
Vicodin.
you always want to refer yourself to a doctor and find out what's really happening in there. As a trainer, what we would do is start with some external rotations for the rotator cuff and get those nice and warmed up before you start to train at all.
Okay, so explain that.
Yes. Well, the rotator external rotation is where you take two lightweight dumbbells or plates, elbows by your side, pull the elbows back towards your retract your shoulders back, and then it basically externally rotates your elbow or hand away from the body, away from center. It looks like you're turning your body into a T, a small T.
Okay.
Lowercase T. From there, I also would recommend possibly something called the alphabet. Take a 4-pound med ball, stand close to the wall with a 90-degree bend at the shoulder, arm extended, and then you write the alphabet in cursive. You do 26 letters one hand, 26 letters with the other. Again, it's a rotator cuff warm-up that I use for people on day we do bench presses. So those are two great therapeutic tools that you could use prior to your chest routine to get warmed up, to get your shoulders warmed up.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like, I don't think it's the rotator cuff. I don't know exactly. I went to the doctor and they're like, oh, it's just arthritis. I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I honestly don't.
Could it be a lack of beer?
So. I don't think it's a lack of beer either. It's probably a lack of
Now, Ox,
I don't know what it is.
I've been using the arm bike to warm up my shoulders. It's like a pedal thing. And is that good for you?
Ergometer?
Yeah, the arm bike. Is that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's great for you as well. I tend to do that up to 5 minutes prior to a chest routine as well. I'll throw that in maybe once every 2 weeks prior to chest routines, depending on the client's needs.
Okay, and I have another question is, I'm doing lat pull downs, and for some reason my tricep is taking a brunt of that. I'm not sure why, but I'm doing lat pull downs, and my tricep, I can feel it. For some reason, it's hurting my tricep.
Chances are with that, from my experience, it's overextending at the top of the movement.
Okay.
But you overextend, you stretch your tricep out. Tend to lean back just a bit more and keep it into the lat area.
Okay.
Tense your elbows. I tell clients, imagine a spot 3 feet behind you that you're trying to pull your elbows to behind you as you pull down.
I see. All right, cool, man. You know what we need to do is get a video series. I need to go out there with a camera crew. We need to do a video series on all these movements. I think because people need to see it, you know, and they need a perspective of how to do it. That with like a program, that would be awesome, man, to do that. When you get some time, let me know. I'll fly out there and we'll shoot that video.
Well, that sounds great. We're more than glad to have you out here on the East Coast.
Okay. Oh, I got a question. So what I wanted to talk about is people just getting into fitness. And I was out in Malibu with my family yesterday where I was working on a nice sunburn. and they, you know, we were talking about food and sugar compared to calories. And I tell these people it's really more sugar than calories, although you want to keep your calories right, you know, because I think fat loss is calories in, calories out, right? Is that right? Calories in, calories out. Keep your insulin level even low.
Yes, and watch your glycemic index and how it spikes. Post workout, you definitely want to try to eat within the 20 to 30 minute window to start the recovery process. But it is calories in, calories out.
Okay,
you want to monitor those.
Now, as far as the meals, like after you work out, it's like a lot of people know that I do a lot of that 5-2 diet kind of thing, right? So there'll be a big window between, and now you and I, we worked out a little bit together, and I'm pretty ripped. And the reason why I'm so lean and my veins are sticking out all the time, it's because I'm fasting for a certain amount of hours, and then I go to the gym, and then I eating, right? So it's, you know, the 5-2, basic 5-2 diet, but a little bit of modification. And people don't realize that they could take advantage of that because the fact that when they're sleeping, that's good 7 hours of just not eating. So if they can figure out a way not to eat before they go to bed, like 5 hours before they go to bed, and then they go to bed, they got that 7 hours. And if they could work out before they go to work, or try not to eat while you're at work, and then you come home, you work out, and then you eat your dinner, you know, depending on your workout schedule.
Is there a better time to work out? Like, what would you recommend for time to work out?
Well, each person has their own time. Personally, mine is between 11 and 1 o'clock. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to have those times for a long stint of time because of business. But each person has to find their time to train. Some people are morning trainees, some people are afternoon. But it is up to the individual as to what their results what results they want.
I see. Now, if a person's just trying to get in, you know, just starting their program, they don't know anything about working out. What kind of foods can they start out with, or what kind of methodology do they need to approach when it comes to food? Because a lot of people tell me, I know, like my brother-in-law, Javier, he says, hey, man, I've stopped drinking this sodas and I've lost a lot of weight, right? Just stop drinking sodas, right? So what kind of person what kind of mindset do they need to go in, and what kind of foods do they need to avoid when they first start working out?
Fast foods. As the sooner a person can get away from processed foods, the better. It's as simple as that. Eliminate fast foods from your diet, your day-to-day. Do your meal prep with whole foods, and go strictly to water. Water is the greatest anabolic out there. So if you can use water as a tool to curb your appetite, that's going to set you straight. But mainly staying away from processed foods when you start out, because you have to build discipline through consistency. So I tend to have people make a list of 14 foods they know are bad for them, and then each day in that 14-day stint, they drop a food off.
Oh,
they drop a food off.
So you have that list.
Yes.
Perfect.
And then in 2 weeks, you've built a habit of not having the food in your diet, and then you just move forward with a cleaner, healthy lifestyle.
So I think I've asked you this before, Ox. Like obviously I don't get to make a lunch in the morning. I'm just, I get home from work. I'm like beat. And, so I have an argument with my girlfriend about this all the time. Like literally every day I will have a green burrito or I'll have a chicken burrito.
Well, where do you get those burritos, Kit?
We're talking Del Taco.
Oh, Christ
and
almighty.
a nice tea. I mean, is that better
for
me than, say,
Ox, do you want me to go in there?
Hamburger and, I mean, I could go to, I've got my choice of Carl's Jr., Del Taco, I think Wendy's, which I'll never eat again in my life.
Don't ever do
I
that.
almost died eating that food.
Stick with the Mexican food. Bean, rice, chicken.
Right.
Simple, easy. It's cleaner, healthier than the burger.
Got it.
But definitely, you can't go wrong with bean, rice, and chicken.
All right.
And then get rid of the wrap if you can.
Oh shit!
You can't.
That's gonna be a messy.
You can't
burrito.
You can't go wrong with Mexican food or Mexican women.
Whoa.
Just saying.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's right.
I like to eat it all.
So, Ox, we're going to talk about some aliens, man. You want to stick around for the alien show?
Well, I would definitely listen.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you know. Now, anybody that wants to find Ox, why don't you go ahead and give them that information, Dan?
You can find me at oxercise.com. Follow me on Instagram at Oxercise or Facebook Oxercise as well. Tonight, I'm putting up a body-weighted routine. It's called The Burner, and I'm going to put it on my Instagram as soon as we get off the air, and it will be posted tonight so that you can start training without any weights at all.
Yeah, that's
Sweet.
awesome. Yeah, and is this something they could do at home?
This is something you could do at home right where you're standing.
Wow.
What's the best position for your abs? Missionary, doggy style? I mean, what would you recommend for that? Because I'll tell you, when I was in my 20s and I was, knocking it, 4 or 5 times a week, my stomach was ripped.
It
was always missionary.
With added hip thrust.
Yeah,
hey,
okay.
Kit, it depends on what your boyfriend,
Oxercise and sexercise. Oh, yeah. His new website coming up.
Yeah, Kit will design that website for you, Ox. Hey, guy, thanks a lot for calling. And I want to tell everybody about, we just got a bunch of fitness clothes from Oxercise.
Oh, my girlfriend loves her hat, by the way.
Yeah.
And there's a big argument about that hat. Like, it's, of course, I've got 2 women in the house, so now it's, fighting over the hat. I have mine, so I'm good, man. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I recommend anybody that wants some cool clothing. I mean, yes, it's exercise clothing, but dude, we were at the Del Mar Fair on 4th, and 3 people asked, "Where'd you get that hat?" To my girlfriend. She's like, "Oh, well, I got it from Oxercise. Just, on the back you can see oxercise.com." And they're like, "Oh my God, that logo is so cool." Dude, and I've been doing graphics for years, man. That logo is a winner.
Thank you very much.
It rocks. Who did that for you? Did you design that?
I designed that years ago working in a tattoo studio for myself.
Yeah, that is a very cool logo, my friend.
Dan, are you an artist?
Yes, I am.
Holy cow. I didn't know that.
I do murals and chalkboards. And again, my artwork's available at my Instagram account and Facebook account. You can see what I do. I'm currently involved with doing local chalkboards with all the restaurants that I live at.
Oh, really? For the restaurants, you do the artwork on the chalkboards. That's cool.
Yes.
You should post some of that on your Instagram. Speaking of your Instagram, somebody sent me a PM, and I guess you had some kind of giveaway where the first 5 people, you send an email address, and the guy sent me a message saying, "Hey, one of the people that you follow are sending me like a hat or something." I didn't even know you were having a giveaway.
Well, I did this. We got new arrivals in. I put the hats out there to show appreciation to everyone who supports Exercise. And within 30 seconds, 5 people had contacted me, and I shipped all the hats out yesterday.
Oh, so that was one of the people who follow me on Instagram, I guess, because I got a PM saying, "Hey, thanks, I'm getting a hat from Exercise." I'm like, well, one is I know Exercise, but who are you? Which is great. I love to see that. So that's pretty cool.
How does the swag do, man? Are you selling it well? Is it doing pretty good?
It sells, and I give away as much as I sell. I'm a pretty giving guy. My goal is to get the word of fitness out there, and one of my mottos is I'll give the shirt off my back to get you into fitness.
Nice.
So if people are interested enough to get in touch with me, I'll do them the favor of getting them shirts or hats or things to make sure that they're appreciated.
Yeah, I think Rob, you oughta get some influencers, some people that are the cool kids, and we need to get them that.
I do, and what
swag.
I do is I tell Ox, like, I got people like UK, I got people as far as UK, Canada who follow me, and what I'll do is I'll send Ox a address, and they actually get right. Didn't you just send Steve from the UK some stuff, right? So
yes. He
posted a video about the colors of his shirts. I'm like, well, it looks good on you, man. We're bringing back the 80s with these. But I'm going to tag you, Ox, because one of the stories we're going to talk about is the Antifa guy that's been knocked out by this dude. And this guy is so fit. And I think he's a professional fitness guy because his photos, the dude looks really good, right? So I'm going to tag you later today after the show. But, I want you to check this guy out. And he's just one of those really buff dudes that happen to be in the right place at the right time. And he belongs to this organization that go out to these rallies and they protest and get the word out. So the anti-Antifa guys.
Do you have that? I mean, I know we can go to your website at oxercise.com, but do you have that stuff up on like Amazon or anything like that?
We're currently working on getting a catalog together of stuff that's going to be available to the public. That's the beauty of having my own logo. I'm able to put it on stuff that I personally want to see my wife wear, and that's how I design my clothing. Is my female's clothing is based off of what I want to see my wife in when she trains, and then whatever I look good in, I put it out there for myself. And then, of course, whatever hats Rob looks good in, I put them out there as well.
Oh, there you go. I love oxercise.com.
Well, you can actually see Rob in the hat on Chaotic Radio Live on YouTube right now.
That's right. There you go.
So, Ox, one last question. I know we probably kept you a lot longer than you really wanted to stay on, but, we're in control here. Actually, you are because you could hang up. But so my girlfriend she's a nurse. She started a business called Mobile B12 Shots. So she does vitamin B, D, glutathione, methyl type vitamins. Do you see as that being of value? I mean, a lot of people say, I'll just take my own vitamins. Are you knowledgeable in that area at all? I mean, do you see that as being beneficial to people?
I'm a certified personal trainer by trade. I'm a certified nutritionist. I draw the line at getting too far into the nutritional realm because I leave that for licensed and registered nutritionists.
Got it.
I'm strictly on the personal training side, getting people into fitness, and I have broad strokes of nutrition and knowledge there. But I leave that up to the doctors and the registered and licensed nutritionists on that aspect of fitness. Just to play it safe.
Yeah,
I don't sell myself for more than I am.
I got it. Yeah, no, I get vitamin B shots, once a week, and I'll tell you beforehand, I used to get I'd have high peaks and high and low lows, with energy, and I think it doesn't really give me like energy, but what it does is it keeps me even. I've noticed is kind of the thing. So just my own personal whatever. But thanks again, Ox, man. Anybody looking to check out Ox's fitness information and or his swag, which is super cool, go to oxercise.com. Check him out. Thanks again, Ox.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good evening.
See you, man.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, Oxercise. Checking in.
There you go, man.
Good information. I wasn't sure what he was talking about with the ABC thing, though. I was a little bit, I didn't visualize it. Maybe you can show me later.
Yeah. You check it out on YouTube. It's all out there. So it's just, I got a bunch of questions this weekend about fitness, and I thought I'd throw a little bit, and I normally don't do fitness on this show.
We kept him for a while.
Yeah. And
so thanks for hanging in
there,
Rock.
we kept him 15 minutes more than I said I was going to keep him. So, yeah, that was great support over there at oxercise.com. All right, guys, so let's move on. I want to talk about this UFO that landed or crashed in Washington. Did you hear about that? Now, was he either a UFO or some kind of meteor? And it says here, NASA says fireball that shocks Washington coast about the size of a minivan. Now, that's a pretty big meteor. I mean, the size of a van would, if it hit the ground, would create I don't know, like a half a mile wide crater. So good thing that it landed in the ocean. But let's check out, see what they says. It says, the fireball, hundreds of people reported over Washington coast Wednesday night was a meteor entering our atmosphere. NASA's scientists say, there you go, kid, I like it. Around 7:10 p.m., Washingtonians, I didn't know they had their own name over there, reported a bright light in the sky. Washingtonians reported a bright light in the sky, a boom, a shaking. Gray's Harbor Emergency Management followed the incident, but were not immediately sure what it was. That's pretty interesting. The Washington State Deputy Officer conducted the FAA and the Western Air Defense Senator, I didn't know they even had their own, or sector, and told them that they had no problems. Gray Harbor Emergency Management wrote, these were no earthquakes. There are no reports of explosions or crashes on the ground. We will continue the investigation of the incident and will forward any information that they receive. Now, what's interesting is that NASA is actually going out to look for the fragments of the meteor. Now, I've never heard of NASA actually looking for this thing. That leads me to believe that it was something other than a meteor because those things land all the time. You know, they blow up all the time, right? There you go. Rarely large meteors are called fireballs. So that's because they're on fire when they come through the atmosphere at like 20,000 miles an hour, and they literally explode before they hit the ground because of the pressures, right? So I'm not sure what's going on with this thing and why NASA would actually go out looking for this thing. But it says it's the largest meteor in the past 20 years to come through and hit the ground. So it's pretty crazy.
Do they have photos online, or are they keeping?
They do have some cell phone videos of it blowing up online. But hey, where did you get this soundtrack at? Is this mine?
No.
Okay. But yeah, it's pretty crazy, and every day, we get fireballs coming from space, but not that big. And when something that big comes, I mean, that's a city changer right there. That'll turn your city pretty much into a big fucking hole, So it's pretty crazy that that thing, and we're lucky that thing hit in the water off the coast and not the coast. So as far as I know, it didn't cause any giant wave or any tsunamis.
So it landed in the ocean.
It landed in the ocean right off the coast. Let's see here. It says, too bad the body over Washington. I'm not sure. Oh, fire. Oh, yeah. Fire said, okay, this is what this guy's talking about. This guy's saying that it was the largest asteroid or whatever it was to hit over the water in that area. So it's pretty crazy.
So they're saying they actually found meteors.
That's what they're saying. That NASA went out there. They went on an explorer ship in part with another explorer. Go ahead and play that. You got that audio, that video up?
Yeah.
And then what they did is they went diving, and it was like a couple thousand feet in the water, I think. And they sent UAVs or a remote control submarine or something in the water to get these things, like a drone for the water.
Right. Interesting. Let's go ahead and see what we can pull up.
Yeah, pull that up.
Right, fireball captured by meteor camera, Washington Post.
There you go.
Boy, we got all kinds of them.
Yeah, here's the video on the Washington.
Up in the sky, and there was a pretty good sized ball of fire.
Here you go.
Let's see if I can find something that's a little longer than 15 seconds. They're all pretty short.
Yeah, because it only took a couple of seconds to go through there.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of ocean there.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
It's just the water, somebody looking at getting the sunset, and then all of a sudden...
There's a huge tail behind it that we saw in the sky for probably 6-7 seconds. Enough for me to grab the guy who I was with next to me and say, look at that.
Emergency departments in Grays Harbor County flooded with calls about a light in the sky.
That's mine.
And theories about what the boom was flooded social media. A flock of seagulls diving into the ocean, Megatron returning to Earth, aliens, or maybe even Superman. Great guesses, but today we're learning NASA scientists say it was a meteor.
Really large meteors are called fireballs. Really large fireballs are called bolides. This was a bolide.
It came from the asteroid belt and entered the atmosphere around 8:10 last night.
Now, I don't know if I'm going to take their word for it. Like, it's a bolide. Like, well, I guess they did find it, but it's kind of odd that the NASA runs out there checking out what this thing is. It's pretty crazy they would actually do that. Normally they don't do that kind of thing. They don't go out looking for, meteors that hit the Earth. But, then again, who really knows? So let's continue.
With calls about a light in the sky, and theories about what the boom was flooded social media. A flock of seagulls diving into the ocean, Megatron returning to Earth, aliens, or maybe even Superman.
I don't know about
Great
seagulls.
Guesses, but today
It's
we're
kind of a
learning
stretch.
NASA scientists say it was a meteor.
Really large meteors are called fireballs. Really large fireballs are called bolides. This was a bolide.
It came from the asteroid belt and entered the atmosphere around 8:10 last night. At about the size of a minivan, instruments as far away as Manitoba, Canada, picked up the meteor.
Wow, it's pretty big.
Really dramatic in the radar imagery, to the point that this is probably the biggest meteorite fall I've seen in continental U.S. in the past 20 years.
It landed about 14 miles off the coast of Washington. Take a look at the fall zone. Bolides are made up of ice and dirt and mostly disintegrate in the atmosphere. Dr. Freeze thinks pieces about the size of bricks hit the Pacific and then were followed by thousands of smaller pieces. Any ships in the area could have seen some debris. And since it was moving about 14 kilometers a second, it came in with a sonic boom.
That's much faster than any supersonic plane or rifle bullet or anything.
And it even registered on the Pacific Seismic Network. Bolides fall on average of once a day around the world, with most being smaller than the one we saw last night. About 12 meteorite fragments are found every year. The National Weather Service says it would be hard to even know what you were looking for.
It would be extremely lucky because the thing blew up into real small pieces to begin with. So if you found one, it would probably be more of like, what is this rock doing here in the middle of nothing?
In 2013, a meteor the size of a 6-story building burned up over the Russian sky. It was found in a lake with the final size about as big as a car engine. Dr. Freeze says what the Pacific Northwest saw last night was special, but not one of a kind. So always keep an eye to the sky.
Yeah, I just don't know, dude. I just don't know about that. What do you think about that, Kit? You think it's really...
I don't know. I would assume that... I've always heard that a meteor the size of a minivan could cause a wave, a tsunami, like a mile high, going
that's what I heard.
1,500 miles an hour because of the speed, the pressure, and the weight of meteors is like extremely heavy compared to, say, rocks.
They're coming in at over 20,000 miles an hour.
Right.
So... I'm not sure why a giant wave didn't hit, if it was, depending on how close it was to the coast of Washington, it's kind of fishy. It's really, and then they ran out to go look at it and find pieces of it. That's also kind of fishy. I know there is something called Tunguska. You ever heard of Tunguska, Washington, where a large meteor knocked down like 2,000 miles of forest? That's about the size of that thing was. Right. So,
well, the ones that knocked down that supposedly was the dinosaur killer was only as big as a football field or something, which is quite a few minivans. However,
that's a shit ton of minivans.
That
dude.
changed the world forever, the Earth forever. I guess you would say.
Well, yeah, I mean it did. It was that was big. that's a species killer right there. But this, I just don't know. I'm just not buying it, bro. I really ain't. So. That being said, I'm not buying it. What are you going to do? All right, so let's get into more UFO stuff because there's a lot going on in the UFO world today. I got the list of the latest UFO whatever reports, and let's start off with this one. This happened the other day, 7/7/18. Unknown object that followed an incoming plane very fast and at ascending speeds, and that was in Bristol. So, do you know where Bristol GB is? What is that? Bristol GB.
Great Britain, maybe?
Is that right?
Yeah,
Bristol GB. I guess it is, because here's one from Pennsylvania. Ball of light passing airplanes. Some ball of light is passing airplanes, and that was in Strobergs, East Strobergs, PA. So, yeah, that happened on the same day, actually. So a lot of stuff happening on the same day. Or very bright light at the horizon, ongoing direction. So they just saw that was in Trenton. So, yeah, that's not sure. But that one has a video, actually, so let's check that out. It's pretty crazy here. Yeah, it's an orb, and it could be anything. The thing, have you ever tried to take a picture at night with a cell phone?
Yes.
And it doesn't work, does it? No.
Not well.
No. So I get it. I've got really good cameras, and I've got a cell phone camera, and either one, trying to take a picture at night of a light in the sky, not the easiest thing to do. So there you go. And there's another one, bonfire at our home. We noticed about 8 of them, almost communicating and hovering. So I don't know what almost communicating is, but that was in Rockford, MI. So right here on the East Coast. So I'm not sure what's going on there. So silver object spinning slowly with bright white light. No picture. Of course, there's no picture. You would think there'd be more pictures with all the everybody's got a phone, right? But it's not that easy. Here's one in Las Vegas. The object seemed to be hovering at and followed at 65 degrees. So I got a screenshot of that one too, just downloaded. Let's take a look at this here. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't buy some of these, but what are you going to do, right? I mean, it's their word. I'm going to just take it for what it is. But, it is Red Pill Radio, so, I want to see the truth here.
That's how we roll. Huh?
That's how we roll. All right, so let's get out of the UFO genre here, because they're killing me with these reports. Let's talk about the Antifa. Did you know that they had a pro-American prayer vigil, I guess, in Washington?
Are you having problems talking today, Rob?
Yeah, I am.
Is it the UFO music? Is that like...
Yeah, can you turn it down a little? It's fucking distracting me, killing me with that. Right.
I'm in here trying to readjust YouTube video monitor because it seems that everybody wants to F it up. We've got 2 views, but I'm working on it, Rob, so keep going. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves.
So, Antifa protester, did you hear about that in Washington?
I vaguely saw something on Facebook where a guy comes at him with a billy club, hits him, and then I think lights out for the guy that hit him.
Right. Here it is here. So what happened was, here's the guy, right? And what happened, he travels around, I guess, to these protests. So he's a pro-American supporter, right? So he travels around and protests and spreads the word of America, and, freedom of speech.
America.
Yeah, America, right? This Antifa guy, let's look at the video here. This Antifa guy, he's got a ski mask on or some kind of face mask and glasses. And he's got one of those metal batons. You see those metal batons? They're like a foot long, and you pull it out, and it's like 3 feet long, and they're metal. It's like a telescoping.
Cops use them to beat people.
Yeah, right? So he's got this cop carrying a people-beating device, and he's running at this dude. Now, this dude is a big dude. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This guy's like 6'1", and he's probably about 230 pounds. The guy's a monster. He's pretty big. And I've seen him on Instagram. The guy's built. I mean, the guy's obviously been working out for a while. This guy, Antifa guy, in a jacket. I don't know why maybe it's cold over there. I'm not really sure. But he's running at this guy who's 4 times bigger than he is, with this metal club, and he swings like right here, and the guy steps back, and the guy misses. The Antifa guy misses, and then here he goes again, and then as he swings again, the American
guy,
the guy for America, the pro-America
guy.
Yeah, because I don't want to really use his name because I don't know if we're allowed to, number one, and I don't want to expose his name to the Antifa people. Right?
Okay, fair enough. Well, if you're reading it online, then I'm sure they are as well. Just saying.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if that's his like a cover ID or that's his real ID. That's the problem. But I'm going to play it safe, right? So,
okay, play it safe.
So the guy hits him in the arm, but what the guy does is he comes. There's something in fighting. Now, I've taken Krav Maga for a long time, and they teach a lot of small arms combat, right? So basically, they teach you how to fight people with clubs and shanks and knives and all that stuff. And what you want to do is if a guy closes in on you, right, and he's got like that device or shank in his hand, as his hand comes up, you watch the shoulder. As his hand comes up, then you step into the guy so he doesn't have a chance to swing at you. You know what I mean? So you're blocking the blow before he has a chance to completely unload. You know what I mean? Right?
Yes.
So you got your arm up like this, and you're going forward, and if you block him mid-swing, then the impact is less, right? So what happened is this guy blocked the blow of the Antifa guy, and he took this huge swing. Now, Kit, normally when you're like boxing, you're coming from the chest out, you know, but this dude takes a massive wide swing, hits the guy in the face so hard, it knocks him out instantly, and he stands there and he just gives him a slight shove, and the guy falls backward and just like stiff as a tree and drops like a tree, like if you were to just cut a tree down. It's unbelievable. The guy was arrested by the police, by the way, and detained for like a whole day or so.
We're talking about the guy who knocked him out, or the guy who
the guy who was defending himself, the guy who knocked him out, because he's only defending himself against Antifa. He wasn't Did you see the rally, dude? The Antifa guys were throwing fireworks, basically like bombs. It's the mortars that are in a round ball, and they put them in a tube, and they launch and 300 feet, and they explode.
Yeah, we're talking Disneyland type.
They were
fireworks.
throwing that shit into the crowd. The Antifa guys.
Boy,
Not
that
only
escalated
but
quickly.
They bring bags.
I mean, that really got out of hand
of
fast.
food, like a poo, like shit, and bottles of piss, and they throw them into the crowd too. This is Antifa. They're completely stupid.
I don't know anything about Antifa. I'm completely clueless.
Antifa.
What does it stand for?
Dude, I don't know actually. It's Antifa protester gets knocked out with they call it a turbo punch.
Antifa. Let's see.
Yeah.
Antifa.
I'm going to tell you what it is. It's like anti-fascist, I hate America.
It's more than immigration. Antifa and Occupy ICE. Female Patriot player member. Proud Boy protester knocks Amifa man out Antifa, cold in Portland. So it was a kid who knocked out a man.
No, he's not a kid, dude. Look how big the guy is. The guy's 6'1". Guy's a grown man. Right? They're both grown men. Everybody there is over 18. You take that responsibility. When you come at a guy with any tool or any weapon, you're there to fight. You're putting yourself at risk and in harm's way.
Correct.
So I don't feel bad for I don't feel bad for the guy at all. The guy got what he deserved, and his Antifa guys quickly went and picked the guy up. You know, the guy who was knocked out, the Antifa guy, and as they picked him up, he was stiff as a board. And I'm talking like when you get knocked out, sometimes your body goes completely stiff. I mean, literally stiff.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it where you just lock up and just straight back.
So they picked him up like he was a 2x4, and they drug him. They drug him off into who knows where. I don't know what happened to that guy, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure his face is broken. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right. So Yeah, it's pretty crazy what's going on with these Antifa guys. And I've been to a lot of these protests, and those people are crazy, and they're stupid. And the thing is from what I'm understanding,
they're crazy. And they're stupid.
Is Homeland Security actually took down the barrier separating the two groups.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
I can't vet that information. I'm getting reporting that, I've read some reports that the Homeland Security or whatever police officials actually removed the barriers and let the two groups go out.
They're inciting violence is what they're doing.
Well, yeah, they just made it.
Finish him.
They didn't incite the violence. They let it happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? They could have, when I was in Laguna Beach protest, when there were the protests there, they had all the peace and they called themselves peace and love and freedom, right? And then the other people were pro-American or pro-Trump, right? So there was a big volleyball court separating the two groups, and you had a line of cops in riot gear at the peace and love side, and they had like two cops where the pro-American side is. And when I walked around, so I was at the peace and love, I was talking with one of these Antifa guys. I was interviewing him, right? When his guys approached me, I'm like, hey, I'm press. And I said, I just want to get an interview. The head of the Antifa guy group said, hey, man, I'll give you the interview. There you go.
Trying to turn it down. Hold on.
There you go.
There we go.
So they gave me an interview, but they were pretty hostile toward me. So when I wanted to interview the pro-Trump guys, I had to walk around the barrier, the K-rails. They had tanks and cop cars with the water cannon, the van with the water cannon up there. I had to walk around all that stuff. When I got to the pro-Trump or the pro-America side, there was like three guys out there handing out flyers. And I asked the cop over there's only like two cops. I said, hey, where's all the wild pro-American people? He said they left because they all had to work the next day.
Ooh.
So
Dutch is my goddamn fuck hero.
There you go. So that was Zig.
That was Zig.
That was a soundbite.
That was a Zig bumper.
Yeah, that was a Zig bumper.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy. This all went down in Washington.
And what's really funny about all this, and I don't want to get back on politics because good Lord, we spent 2 weeks on it last week. But it's amazing when the police and security take away the barriers, and we're all fighting in the streets. Guess what? Here comes martial law. Now we're bad children that don't know how to act, so the government's got to step in and take complete control, military control. And guess what? Then everybody will have something to be pissed off about.
And that's what they want, though.
That's what the government wants.
They're setting it up.
That's what the government, and both sides of it, because the people on top that are, spewing all this bullshit, they're rich. They're not going to be affected by it. They're going to be in control. And that's what they want, control of you and your money, period.
Okay.
Both sides of the coin, people. Both sides. Just saying.
Okay, so that Antifa story, what I told you about the Homeland Security removing the barrier, that comes from the American Mirror online. So it's an online magazine called the American Mirror. And what they said is that the Homeland Security actually removed the barriers right here. It says KGW reports only 4 people were arrested at that thing. Well, that one guy, I don't want to say his name because I'm not sure if I should, unless I talk to him, and we'll try to get a hold of him next week so we can talk to him. But it says here that they actually removed the barriers. Like, why? Because they want I think the government wants to clash between the two sides.
Of course.
They want an excuse to take away people's rights to protest. They want to take away. It's basically, it goes down to that socialism thing again. They want the deep state wants a socialist state. They want the control over the people. I'm not sure. That's not smart thinking, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're trying to do. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, have you ever been in one of these protests?
I try to stay away as much as possible.
Now, but they had one in Laguna Beach, right? But you were at work, right? I was talking to you on the phone when I was.
I was actually coming back from New Orleans at the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy, and it really gets you pumped up because you got two sides out there just yelling at each other, and people. The most aggressive people were the people in the peace and love area. They were really aggressive all day. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I could see where this guy. I guess the protest group that he belonged to, the guy who punched the Antifa guy, they go around to these different protests and they protest against the protesters.
Well, if two sides can't come to an agreement, then both sides are wrong. That's
true. I mean, there's levels of arguing, right? One is you could talk with somebody, right, online, like on Facebook, and he's saying, oh, he gets all crazy about his political view, whatever or however skewed it is, and then you try to tell them that, hey, man, that ideology or your view is flawed because of this and this, and then pretty soon he's giving you cheap shots, and then you end up giving cheap shots back, and then somebody gets blocked on Facebook, and then you see him at the store and you get in a fight. That's how it goes, right? So that's no good. I think it's all bad. I think there's a point where people have to have a civil discourse. You can't just go to blows or bring a bottle of piss to the grocery store and throw it at a Trump supporter. Like I have my Make America Great Again hat, and people kind of look at me like, well, why are you wearing the hat? What's wrong with making America great? Number one, I mean, why would you not want that? But they want.
Agreed.
They're marching no borders, but without a border, you don't have a country, and then that weakens the property, right, or the country. I mean, bringing people in, and they tried that in Germany, and now they're finding out that importing a bunch of immigrants is not the best idea. So that the German people are figuring that out, and in the Ukraine, they don't allow that. They're like, we're not going to bring those people over here because it's just ruining us. So
agreed.
Right? That's pretty crazy. So, I want to tell you, earlier on one of my videos I posted about the Vicodin. It's because I have a kidney stone, right? Just a disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not in here doing a bunch of that stuff. I was prescribed that and something called Flomax that makes me pee every 5 seconds. Those two items because I have a kidney. You ever had a kidney stone, dude?
Never.
No?
No.
Oh, good Lord. You don't
Nor
want
have I had a child out of my penis, so that's just saying.
That's like having a kid out of your penis. So it's
No!
Or being abducted and have an alien crawl in there. I'm just saying.
Good times.
Good times, man. Right? Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. The whole Antifa thing is and the thing is there's a very few of those people. I mean, when you go to a protest, you may see a handful of them there, but they don't have enough members to take over society. So I don't know what their whole I don't know what their whole goal is, except to
some people like disarray. Some people like the drama. Some people like the attention. Some people like to just have some sense of control in their life, and they have to go out and protest. I mean, if our government were putting people in ovens and having setting up concentration camps and killing them, there's no way that I or any of your neighbors would stand for that. But they act like that is what's going on. Honestly, Rob, this whole we talked about it last week. I love children, man, and I don't want to see any children affected by things. But if I bring my kids and I jump over your fence into your backyard, you are going to call the police. I am going to jail. My children are going to either juvenile hall or a social worker is going to come take them away somewhere. So why is it that somebody coming into our country undocumented, I won't say illegally, even though it is illegal to enter any country, without the proper paperwork, illegal, because in Germany you'd get shot over it,
yeah.
We've already talked about Canada. We talked with Richard yesterday, and every country in the world has a immigration policy.
Well, some countries are trying to take those immigration policies and throw it out the window.
Okay, great.
And I don't know.
Well, I'd love to move to Amsterdam and not have to, have a passport to get there. But unfortunately, even if they do have no immigration, you still have to become a citizen. You still have to be in part of their thing. But, it's like yeah, it drives me crazy. It's like, look, I feel for everybody. We've already discussed that about, living with gangs and being so feared for your life and your children's life to come over here. But, there is a proper way to do it. And, I guess I would do it too. But if I did, I would be expecting that my children would be taken away from me. And as far as, the Latin people, they would give two shits about me and my kids. They really would. They'd be like, well, you're just one guy.
You're actually not allowed to own land in Mexico if you're an American. You can lease it for like 99 years, but you can't actually own it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And also, they don't give they turn away in Mexico the so-called refugees. They turn away 90% of those folks, and we turn away about 60%, supposedly, if we can find them, if they report. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, the world is kind of crazy right now. Politics is kind of, and it's so hot because I think the Democrats, not all of them, but some of them are just so upset and so dismayed about Donald Trump winning the presidency that they will say and do anything to try to get him out of there or try to convince other people that he should be out of there. So it's pretty crazy. The guy hasn't done anything wrong. They're talking about impeach all the time. That's all they do is say impeach.
He's a loudmouth. He's full of himself.
Oh yeah,
for sure. But he's not breaking laws. He's not. This whole Russia thing is a bunch of bullshit put on by the Democrats to, just shift the attention away from them lining their pockets.
Yeah.
The Democrats in the government. I'm not talking about people that are sitting in the living room that are Democrats. I'm all for a 2, maybe 3-party system. However that works out, that's great. But we have the different system, just like you have, owners of a company have to have, you can't. There always becomes a vote. There always is a check and balance, and that's our government was set up as that. That we had the check and the balance. So, and that's what it is. Now the checks are saying that we're unbalanced, and that's just not true. I mean, I'm not one of those people out at these, whatever events and protesting and screaming and yelling and throwing feces and bottles and whatever. But I do have an opinion, and I want to be heard. But. When people start ending up in ovens, of course I'll get out of my house. I'll riot in the streets with everybody else to stop it. But, I'm sitting in an air-conditioned building talking on a radio station, being able to say exactly or whatever I want, only in America, and people don't, they don't get how lucky that we truly are. And, what we've done is we put all these people into high-powered places, some by vote, some not, some just appointed. And, what happens? We only have 1 minute and 34, Rob, so I'll quit blustering and let you finish up your show.
Yeah, but, it's pretty crazy. I think you're right. I think there's definitely got to be a middle ground of, before somebody gets hurt. These rallies and Antifa's throwing live fireworks and mortars and stuff in the crowds, a prayer visual. I mean, really? Why are you guys out there? What are they doing? What do they think they're going to do? Just hurt somebody? That'll...
1 minute, Rob.
Oh, 1 minute. All right, guy. We'll close the show out. Guys, I hope you learned something from the show. Next week, we're going to have Dan from Oxercise.com back on, and we got some more fitness stuff. And I'm going to be putting out a list of safe fast food. So you want to minimize the impact on your body and still eat fast food. My tip of the day for, let's say, Jack in the Box, 230 calories. You got those chicken, not the strips, but the chicken, what do you call those, tenders or?
Chicken tenders.
Yeah. So there's 0 sodium and low fat in those chicken things. Even though they're fried, they're at least... It's something you could get away with eating a Jack in a Box. So, but I'm going to have a whole list on my Instagram of fast food items that you get away with eating. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't have time. They're at work or whatever. They need to eat. So that's my 1 minute counter.
Oh, that's your 7 seconds counter.
My 7. All right, guys, let's end this on have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.
towards the